Hey everyone. So in this video, I want to talk about production functions. And in particular, I want to talk about a production function that describes a production process which can be characterized by what we call diminishing marginal returns. So if you recall, a production function is really a technical relationship between inputs and an output or good or service. So it's a relationship between inputs and outputs. So this is a technical relationship, meaning that it's just about what's feasible, what's possible given inputs, right? So this is how we characterize the production technology. So rather than thinking about a good or service for right now, I want to think about the production of something else that we might be interested in. So let's say that we're interested in producing gains at the gym. So I'm going to say that we're interested in modeling the production of gains or gains in muscle mass if you're going to the gym. And we might say that this process, the process of producing gains, is a function of several inputs, right? So one input, or maybe what's most obvious, is the amount of time that you spend going to the gym, right? So we'll say that months in the gym is one input to the production of gains. Okay, so that's one input. There's other inputs as well. I mean, your diet's important, so we could say the grams of protein that you eat per day, that's also important in the production of muscle mass. So we'll say the grams of protein that you eat per day. Maybe the hours that you sleep every night, that's important as well. Right? So all these things are important if we're interested in getting gains, right? So there's other things, of course, that we could talk about as well, but maybe those are what we see as the most important. So the question is, what does the relationship look like between these inputs and the output, which we're going to call gains or increases in muscle mass? So over in this plot here, I'm going to say that our dependent variable is going to be gains, right? And that's the total amount of gains that you get from some input. And to make things simple for now, I'm going to assume that we're holding all of these things constant other than months at the gym. So we're going to say that grams of protein eaten per day, hours of sleep that you get per night, the intensity of your workout, all of that, we're going to say, just assume that that's at some average level. We're not interested in that right now. So we're just going to say that this is constant. So suppose that, right, we hold all these other things constant at some reasonable level, and we're just focused on what's the relationship between the months at the gym and the amount of gains that you produce. So, well, the first thing that we might be able to say is that there's going to be some positive relationship, right? The more months you go to the gym, the more gains you're going to get. And that should be simple enough. But what more specifically might this function look like? We wouldn't necessarily think that this is a linear relationship, meaning that you always get the same amount of gains in muscle mass when you put an additional month at the gym. What we might expect is that there's some nonlinear relationship, such that initially you're seeing a lot of increases in muscle mass as you increase the number of months at the gym. And again, I'm going to say this is months at the gym. Months at the gym on the horizontal axis. So initially, we say this large increase in gains as you put the first few months at the gym. But what we also might expect is that this relationship doesn't continue at the same rate, right? So we might expect that eventually you keep putting months in at the gym, but also you're getting fewer and fewer additional gains as you increase the number or the amount of time that you're working out. Okay? So there's still a positive relationship, right? There's still a positive relationship in the sense that you put more months in the gym, that you're going to get more gains. But the thing is that this is increasing, or the amount of gains is increasing, but at a decreasing rate with respect to months of the gym. Okay? So when we see a production process that behaves like this, where your additional inputs produce smaller and smaller additional outputs with every unit of input that you put into the production process, then we say that this production process can be characterized by diminishing marginal returns. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you in future videos.